Today's tutorial will be covering the 4-color Skewb Diamond. There are other versions of this. There is an 8-color, and the color orientation or color scheme might be different on yours. However, there's a 4-color one, and I wanted to try to put together a quick tutorial that would help you out. Algorithms will all be listed nicely below. It should be great. My 4 colors are the standard yellow, red, green, and blue. Blue is opposite on the other side of green, pretty much. Actually, opposites would be the same color. If you can see, blue's on one side, yellow is opposite yellow, and so forth. My puzzle here is pretty loose. It has exploded a few times while trying to make this, so I'm going to be doing algorithms rather slowly. Forgive me if that's going to be an issue. Why don't we begin by scrambling this up and seeing where we stand. Once again, mine is very, very floppy. Some of the layers spin way too much, and as I said, it exploded a couple times, which is not a really fun cube to put back together puzzle. But it's an interesting and you know, entertaining puzzle to solve. And a quick scramble there shows it's not too difficult to mix up a little bit. So let's begin. Alright, having scrambled it, our first step is going to be to match one complete side. Alright, we're going to get 3 triangles that match, and we will not care about these centerpieces at all, but that'll be the later step. Now we've got 2 greens here, that's great. However, you'll notice that these 2 are not correct, which means, of course, they're not positioned correctly. So let's just kind of zip around. I've done it again, but they are not correct here. Here's another green, so perhaps I'll bring that down here. Once again, they are not correct. So our goal is to get 1, 2, 3 that are all the same. Let's see if I can do this in a reasonable amount of time. Okay, first step here, we've got 2 greens and 2 yellows. So we can pick, either go with the yellow side or the green side, doesn't really matter. I could see that the piece that I need is probably here. Now there are a couple of them. So you'll notice it's in the correct spot, but it's not oriented correctly. If I do the same thing here, you'll notice it happened again. One more time. So I've got a bunch that are in the right piece, but they're not in the right, you know, configuration. So I might just move the piece over and bring it back. I could still see it's not the case. Let's see what else we have. Once again, not. So our goal is to find that piece, which it's got to be somewhere. And how about this? We've got a green pieces like this, and you'll notice that the green piece is facing away. If you've got that piece there, you know you have the right piece. You have 2 choices. You just move it down, up, and over, and it will be correct. This way you have 1 full side. Now this happens to be right, but that's just coincidental. We won't worry about that. So if yours is not correct, don't worry. Now we'll go on to the next step. Okay, again, now we've got 1 side solved, ignoring this middle piece, and we're going to be working now on the other layer. So we're going to take the green, or whatever color you have, and place that on the bottom, and we're going to be working on this upper layer. Okay, so what we want to do is find a pair of colors that match. So we have 2 blues here, but you could see this side is not correct. So that can't be the one. Let's look over here. If these 2 are mismatched, these 2 are matched, but once again, not the same color. So you will always have 1. You can have the entire thing solved, in which case you can move to the next step, but you should be able to find one. So let's see, we're going to move this over here. Blue and red, not good. Red, blue, not good. Okay, let's move it one more time. There's got to be something here. These 2, no good. But these 2 are good. So now in doing this, all we had to do is move the top layer, well, clockwise, whichever way. We're ready for our next step. So using our green on the bottom, we're going to take that piece that we just put, and we're going to move it back left, okay? And you're going to move it back left with a point right at you. And what you want to do now is take the cube and puzzle and pop it down, which means that your green will now be back there, and the 2 pieces we just figured out, of course, are over here. So we're going to move it down like this. So this is the good pieces we have. And the algorithm you're going to have is pretty simple. It's going to be right, up prime, right prime, up, and then you're going to turn this front face. And when we do this, you're going to be able to see, there's your original green side, that all of these triangles are solved. That's all you really have to do to worry about them. And now our last step is going to be to figure out all these little centers. That was pretty simple. So, for our last step, we're going to have one of two different configurations. We'll do these in order. You're going to see a bunch of these mismatched centers. A couple of them might be solved, some of them may not, and you've got to discern what to do and how to move these around. What I usually do is I look for a face like this that have, on all three of these sides, these centers are not matched. So we're going to look at this and we're going to say, okay, we'll take the blue face. We've got green here, which has to go here. Yellow is probably going to go here, red here. So around the blue face, we're going to go counterclockwise. So this is one of I'll call it a 3-cycle. This is a 3-cycle counterclockwise. So because green to here, yellow here, red here. So if we're going to say that's the side, we're going to take this blue side and move it to the back. Okay, the side around which you're going to rotate, we're going to move this to the back. And we're going to have a triangle right in front of us pointing down. You don't want it pointing up. You want it pointing down. 3-cycle around this one. It's going to be counterclockwise. Our triangle's pointing down. Our algorithm for counterclockwise 3-cycle is going to be right, up prime, right prime, up prime, and we're going to repeat right, up prime, right prime, up prime. And when I flip back to my blue side back here, this one's wrong, but you see the 3 that went around it are now fixed. That's good news. What this will leave us with is one more 3-cycle. You see all these centers are now solved. We're very nearing the end, but we have 3, and we're going to say they're all around the green side. We've got red, which goes here, yellow here, and blue here. So that is a 3-cycle clockwise. We're going to do the same idea as what we just did last time, unless you're doing this one first. We're going to take the green side, put it in the back. We're going to keep our green facing this way with pointing down. And again, we want to go a clockwise algorithm. So a 3-cycle clockwise algorithm is going to be up, right, if I can get it, up, right prime, up, right prime. And that just solved our puzzle. Sometimes you might have to do 2 3-cycles. One might be clockwise, the next counter. They might both be clockwise, or both counterclockwise. Let's look at the other position that you might have on the last layer. Now the last configuration, if you look here, we've got a red which swaps with yellow. I'm going to put my fingers on these. And when we look over here, the blue and green swap. So we don't have a 3-cycle, we have to do 4. And so what you'll notice is you've got red and yellow here, and blue and green will be here. So I would say hold 2 with a point aiming right at you, and you've got the other 2 on the sides here. And you're going to start with this algorithm. You got the arrow pointing at you. I'm just going to push it down a little bit. So we've got one of these. So this will swap kind of a top and a bottom, a left and a right, and you're going to do a 4-cycle. Let's see. Right, up, right prime, up prime, right, up, right prime, up prime, right, up, right prime, up prime. Again, I was very slow and deliberate because this cube just exploded prior to me recording that. That will solve them all. So, pretty simple puzzle. Algorithms are not so bad. Hopefully yours doesn't explode. And but I'm not really sure if how exactly an 8-color one works. But if you've got a 4-color Skewb Diamond, it's a fun puzzle to go through. And I hope this tutorial was useful to you in some way. What I'm going to do right now is try to give this a quick mix-up and try to see if I can do a quick solve right in front of you to see if it's actually as easy as the video made it seem. Alright, so let's see. Okay, I'm just going to take the 2 reds to start with. Let's see. So these are all, I can see the piece that I want. And there we go. We've got 3 here. So I'm going to put that on the bottom. I'm going to match something up in this other layer. So far, I have nothing. They don't match. They don't match. Let's just turn it once and see. Bam, they match. Now I've dodged the second step entirely because by doing that, I've moved everything around. If you have to, of course, you do that one algorithm I showed you in step 1 or 2. I'm not really sure. And I've actually put myself in a position where I could see 1, 2, 3 centers So it looks to be a 3-cycle. Blue goes here, yellow here, red here. It's going to be a clockwise 3-cycle. I'm going to take my green side, put it to the back. I'm going to have any of these pointing down, by the way, if you didn't notice that. Because they're going to rotate around this, it doesn't really matter which one is facing down. And what did I say? It's a clockwise? Alright, clockwise. We'll point this down. Clockwise 3-cycle. Up, right, prime, up, right, prime. You can see it wasn't really a fluke. That wasn't a very difficult solve, but I do hope this tutorial helped you in some fashion. Enjoy.